What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another tier list ranking video. Got my trusty sidekicks with me, Slav and John Cooper doing the tier list. Yeah. Today we're going to be tiering the last 20 centre mids to play for Tottenham Hotspur. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I like them. I like the look of this list.
Slav?
Well, I made it.
Yeah,
well done.
Let's get straight into it. And let's start off with the oldest, and we're going to go with Teemu Tainio. But before I start, I want to mention that the tier lists are elite, quality, decent, poor, and dreadful. And we're starting with Teemu Tainio. Let's start off with you, Slav, seeing as you've made this list.
You could just go an elite just for his performance in the last 10 minutes in that game at Wembley.
Yeah, just the shithousery.
Just the absolute shithousery. Teemu Tainio. Well, I mean, when you think of him, that's what springs to mind, that moment at Wembley and the volley at West Ham.
4-3.
I'd go in between decent, poor. I mean, he wasn't great. His son's supposed to be quite good.
Yeah, he left Spurs now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd probably go poor.
I think poor.
Poor. Yeah, I could agree with poor. I think that his effort and desire was always there, and he was always playing for the shirt, but actually he didn't have much quality about him, did he?
But we still love him just for pointing at the
exactly.
score.
I mean, he was Tottenham through and through.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do like about him.
Let's move on. Didier Zecora. John?
No. Do you know what? I must be his probably only biggest fan, if you know what I mean.
I
really liked Zecora because he was able to break the lines. And he was like, him and Lennon were probably our only outlets that were able to do that at the time. And those marauding runs he used to do. Then he'd probably give it away, but I actually really liked him. I would say decent actually.
Known for his prolific finishing.
Yeah, especially in the Carling Cup.
I don't know I've ever seen a footballer so bad, a professional footballer on thousands of pounds a week, so bad at shooting to the point it was actually quite embarrassing.
It looked like he just used to.
I know he was a defensive midfielder, but there's got to be.
Yeah, but you can't mark him down for his finish. That's not what he was about.
Oh, you'll never forget that again at Wembley where he blasted it over the bar from the rebound.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, those
how's that even possible?
So many times. Like, how many times did he go marauding through on goal and just blast it over?
But a lesser midfielder wouldn't even have got to that position, if you know what I mean. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why I give him credit for even getting that far with the ball, because we've had midfielders that can't even get past their own.
He's poor in my opinion.
I would put him in decent actually.
Yeah,
I think he did everything. I think he played well. I think he kind of was that fiery midfielder in the centre of mid, putting in those challenges. I think when he was at Spurs, he offered something that no one else did in that.
Yeah, exactly. Midfield. That's what I think.
I'll put him in decent. John?
Decent.
All right, 2 against 1. Decent it is. Let's move on to Wilson Palacios. Let's start with you, Slav.
Decent.
Decent? Yeah,
he was good. He was. It was sort of when we sort of started to become a good side under Harry. Brought him in from Wigan, did really well. But broke up play well. Was a good defensive midfielder. I think he played his best football under Harry.
In that first season, he was brilliant.
Really, really good. So I'd go decent.
I think that Palacios, when he came to Spurs, I said that Zecora was the only one in that midfield that did his job. But actually, when Palacios came, we were crying out for someone like that so desperately in that middle of the park, just to be that bully in the middle. And as soon as he came, his debut was against Arsenal, I believe, and he absolutely bossed that game, got man the match. And I think that his career went downhill when, the tragic story with his brother getting killed in Honduras.
Yeah,
but
that's when it all kind of went.
Yeah, but I think before that, I would actually put him in quality, but I think top end of decent, to be honest.
I'd be happy with decent, yeah. I'd be happy with decent. He was decent, but I never thought he was as good as everyone else said he was at the time.
He did the job that we needed in the team at the time.
Yeah, he did a job, and he did have that one good season, and the wheels came off after that. But yeah, just decent, I think would be fair. Yeah.
Tommy Huddleston. Stick with you. Techers.
He could hit a ball hard, couldn't he, Slav?
He could smash it. He could kill somebody with a strike.
Yeah. He had such great technique. Such great technique, I think. But what let him down ultimately...
Watching Tom Huddleston is like watching me on a football pitch.
Yeah, what let him down ultimately was his weight issues and his mobility around the pitch.
I was having this conversation with a friend and we said you could actually create the perfect midfield if you put Dembele with Huddleston. Because that's like what each one had, the other one missed.
Ben's right, it was his mobility. Towards actually the back end of his Spurs career, I think he got more, under Harry, I think he got more fitter and agile. But at the start he really wasn't.
If you're talking about his technique, I'd actually put him in elite. I think his technique was actually second to none.
Yeah.
But as a whole player, probably
Decent.
probably the mid to top end of decent, I would say.
Yeah, I'm happy with decent. Yeah.
Jermaine Genius, Slav. I know you're a big fan of JJ.
Yeah, JJ was quality, I think, for us.
Really? You're putting quality?
Decent or quality. I think he played. I think he always put in 100%.
Yeah.
Loved the goal against Arsenal.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Turned up against Arsenal.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult because I feel like my judgment is based on him also as pundit more than a footballer.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to base it more as a footballer.
And he lives in my neighbourhood, so I've got a soft spot for him.
So there you go. So I don't know. What do you think? I mean,
I feel that Genius in the big games against the Man Uniteds, against the Arsenals, he was absolutely top drawer. Well, I'll put in quality for that. But I think he didn't show that consistently enough for Spurs. I felt that for what he had in his locker, he should have been a much better player for us, and he was way too inconsistent. So for me, it's decent.
High decent on the edge. I've got to do a shot for that. He floats on the edge between decent and quality.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Next up, Rafa van der Vaart.
Elite. Next.
Elite?
Well,
Oh, come on!
I guess so. Yeah. High quality on the edge again.
What?
High quality.
No.
Why doesn't he go into elite?
Because I think we didn't put Robbie Keane in elite, and I think a top firing Robbie Keane is as good as a top firing.
Robbie Keane. Did
At
Robbie Keane
their
actually
best.
win a trophy in his life? In his
He won the
career?
Carling Cup for us.
Oh yeah, he did. Okay.
More than Van der Vaart.
No, but Van der Vaart won everything around the world.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
but we're
It's
talking
for
about his time at
us. It's for us.
Spurs. We're talking about his time at Spurs.
All right, it's still elite.
I'd be okay with
Rafa always stepped up. Always.
high. Yeah.
Tell me a time where he
Low
didn't
elite,
step up.
high quality. I
He
don't know.
carried us at times as well.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
was so
what do you
important.
think, Ben?
And also, we got him for £8 million.
yeah, I'm thinking low elite, high quality.
And how much does he love Spurs?
Yeah, high quality.
He
low
loves
elite.
Spurs. I think for that we
Yeah.
just put him in elite.
Yeah.
He
Van
loved
der
it at
Vaart.
Spurs, shushing the Arsenal fans every time. Oh, he's
Go
got
on,
to
let's
go in
put him
elite.
in it. Go on,
He
then, let's
always
put him in
says
it.
his best time in his career was
Yeah,
at
I love
Spurs
him.
and
I
after
love
being
him.
at Real Madrid. So look, ultimate Arsenal killer Van der Vaart along with Jermaine Genius. What a performance in that 3-2 win at the Emirates. You know, the countless amount of performances we can, big performances and big games
That's
from Van
right.
der
Go on
Vaart.
then, stick him in.
And also in the smaller games,
We still
he's brilliant
sing his
as well.
song now. And
No, I
now,
know, but that's
so-
because we just love him as a character as well. You know.
Right, let's put him in elite.
Yeah, come on then.
Tom Carroll.
Oh God.
Dreadful
You're gonna
for
have to
me.
put dreadful. Yeah,
Dreadful
you're gonna
for
have to for on this list.
Yeah, poor, dreadful. It's a shame. He's a
gonna have
tidy
to.
footballer. He's a championship footballer.
Tidy at best.
Yeah, he's like a poor Harry Winks.
A very poor Harry Winks. Yeah. All right, so he's in dreadful. Jake Livermore. Let's start with you, Slav.
Poor,
Poor.
not great.
Dreadful.
Dreadful.
Yeah.
I can't remember where we put him in the last
Well,
tier
the
list
thing is
did.
we did this before, and I put Tom Carroll poor, and then I think I said Livermore poor, but then we put him in dreadful.
I think
didn't
Livermore's
we?
better than Carroll as a footballer.
Carroll
played at a high level
Carroll
for
had
longer.
much better passing range, didn't he? More creativity on the ball.
Yeah.
And Liverpool was a bit more of that
I
kind
think,
of
I
enforcer
think,
type.
yeah, I think Jake Livermore was more suited to Premier League football and professional football than Tom
Yeah,
Carroll.
yeah.
But I think if you're kind of, with the list that we're ranking here, Livermore surely has got to go into the bottom tier.
I think on this list, yeah, dreadful. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
All
it's
right,
fair
Livermore
enough.
goes into dreadful. This is going to be an interesting one. Gylfi Sigurdsson.
I'd say decent.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Decent, great technique,
Yeah.
set pieces, great long range passing, long range shooting. But he's slow. His work rate.
Do you feel with Sigurdsson that it's a bit unfair that I felt that he was always played out of position for Spurs?
Yeah, not a left mid. He was always playing at left mid. He had to play in the number 10.
Yeah.
But even you look at now where he hasn't done anything, but you think that he got big. How much they paid for him? £50
lot of
million
money,
pounds.
a lot of money,
Or something.
a lot of
40 million
money,
quid
yeah.
for him. I don't know if he's that
For a
good.
good finish.
Yeah.
For a good shot.
Great goal though. He's got one of the best, almost what do you say? It's not remembered as a great goal. Do you know what I mean? But he scored that goal when he sort of did the little turn and he banged it top left hand corner. I can't remember who it was against.
Oh.
Do you remember?
I think
Hull
it was
City.
Hull.
Oh, what a
Yeah.
goal that
Great
was!
goal.
It never gets
I mean,
spoken about.
He
I'm like,
scored a
that is
few
a goal.
brilliant goals
Scored
for
at
us,
Chelsea.
Sigurdsson.
Yeah, he had good techers about him.
I
But
remember his first goal at West Ham away, that scrappy
Yeah.
one.
there's an argument to
So-
say he's underrated and we shouldn't have sold him. But I don't know.
No,
I
I
just
think
feel
it
as
was the
though
right decision. I
not
think
quite
it's-
good
you
enough.
look at
Not
him
quite
now.
top drawers.
So
Was
where are we
he?
putting him?
Decent.
I think everyone's being put in decent.
Yeah, we just got everyone's decent, aren't they? God.
Hopefully he gets better.
Sandro, the Brazilian Yido.
Oh, it's a shame because I thought he could have, really
Yeah, bad
made it. I
injuries.
suppose under AVB, I thought him and Dembele looked absolutely brilliant. And there was, I think, at home against AC Milan, he was the best player, and he was just like an absolute monster in that game. And I thought, this is it. This is our new build of, our new Spurs build. But
Had a banger on him as well.
a what?
A banger. Great shot.
I was thinking something else.
I remember one against Chelsea, against Man United,
the Chelsea goals,
against Fulham.
yeah.
You know, he had some great bangers on him.
I had this weird visual there for a minute. Yeah, but he just sort of fell off, didn't he? So
yeah, it was injuries that kind of
did his crucials, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, he come out recently over the last couple of days and said leaving Tottenham was the worst regret of his career.
Yeah, I'd still say decent though. Lower end of decent. Lower end of decent.
I mean, when he was on top for us, I think he was actually quality.
Yeah.
He was, but injuries unfortunately took their
exactly.
toll on him.
Yeah.
Where would you put him?
Decent, in between decent. I think we need something in between decent and quality.
Yeah, I think
It's
we
a
need something in
never-ending-
between.
Above average.
But you know, once we put something in between, we need
You
something
another
in
one.
between.
It's
that.
exactly. It's like a never-ending tier. Yeah. System.
All right, so we'll put Sandro into decent again, but it's like high-end decent, isn't it, Sandro? Next up, Lewis Holtby. He had a great song, but
Dreadful.
yeah.
Paul.
Go on, tell me why.
Because I don't
the
think
goal
he's
at
a Tom
Fulham.
Carroll.
The last-minute goal at Fulham.
Yeah,
puts
and I
him
think
up
he had
to
something
decent
about him. I don't think he was totally dreadful. I think he did have a little something about him.
But it says it all.
Little bit
After
of talent.
Tottenham, he goes to
Blackburn
the second
Rovers.
division in German football. Then he goes into Blackburn. So
Yeah, but can you name any Spurs players that have left and done better than they did at Spurs?
Modric, Bale,
Is that a joke?
But actually performed better.
Modric, Gareth Bale,
Okay, how many can you name?
Michael Carrick,
Did he play better?
Man United.
I think he did.
He won more, but did he play better?
I think he
Yes.
did.
I think if you look at all the players that
Probably
have left
ridiculous.
Spurs, generally you could say that they almost none of them actually performed at a high level.
No.
I don't think Bale's performed at a higher level than the season he left us.
I mean, he's
for
won
Real
4
Madrid.
Champions League.
No, but
In a
has he
row.
performed? Has he performed better as an actual individual player? Is what we're talking about.
mean,
I don't
yeah.
think.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
He's also surrounded by much better players now.
Yeah.
When he was at Spurs, he was surrounded by Jermaine Defoe. Now he's surrounded by Carroll. He was
Exactly, so
surrounded
they
by
look
Benzema,
better, but I
Ronaldo.
don't think necessarily Bale's improved. I don't think necessarily Modric is a better player. They're just surrounded by world-class players, and then they're achieving more.
Modric would never have won the Ballon d'Or at Tottenham.
But that's because he's playing at Spurs. But I'm saying, as an actual individual player, has he really
I think
come
he
on
has.
as a player?
Yeah, I
I'm
genuinely
not
think
sure
he
his
has.
game has improved that much. I just
But
think he's in a
anyway,
better
we're
team.
talking about Holtby.
Holtby. So I think, I think Paul. That's what I think.
I would say dreadful. I agree with Slav. I think that he came to Spurs with such promise. You know, we signed him in that January transfer window. We could have got him for free 6 months later, but we signed him in that January transfer window. And I felt that maybe he had 1 or 2 good games for us. He always put 100% on the pitch, but he just had no quality whatsoever, I thought.
I agree.
All right, so dreadful for Lewis Holtby. Nabil Bentaleb. Let's start with you, Slav.
It's a shame. A player at the time who had a lot of ability, a lot of talent, and a lot of potential, but his attitude let him down.
Big time.
His work rate let him down. Wasn't really interested. Didn't really care. Thought under Poch, and I think at the beginning under Poch he was right. So obviously that assist for Harry Kane, the cross.
Emerged on the Sherwood, didn't he?
For me, poor.
Poor.
No, decent for me.
I'd put him in decent. I think Nabil, when he broke into the side, I thought he was one of the best young centre mids in the league, to be honest. And I thought the early years under Poch's first season, that game against Chelsea when we had him and Mason in the middle really stands out. We were beaten 5-3. I think decent. I reckon he could have gone on to be quality. I really think
It's his attitude that let him down.
I
His attitude stunk.
was upset when we sold him.
Yeah, I was a little bit.
Because
But you look now, he's now on
loan.
loan at Newcastle from
Yeah.
Schalke. Again, it's sort of saying what you were saying about Holtby. He's not great.
But I thought he had a good
Nothing
stint
special.
at Schalke, I think. But again, his attitude let him down.
Yeah.
Decent for me. Lower end of decent.
Yeah, I agree with that. Ryan Mason?
Oh, it's just a sad one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
The
almost
most
don't want to
unlucky-
say
the
this.
most unlucky footballer ever. Did his cruciates a couple of times. Obviously, the horrendous head injury that forced him to retire. I'm so glad that he's got the opportunity to coach at Spurs.
Yeah, I know,
and progress
Nice
his
guy.
management career. Not one of the people say he's one of the nicest guys.
Yeah.
Poch loved him.
Poch still does
Absolutely,
love
yeah.
him.
Well, I love him.
So where you put him?
Well, I'm
You'll
going to
never
put
no
him
one-
the
I don't
same as
think
Bentaleb.
anyone-
I'm going to say lower end of
I
decent.
remember walking sort of up. You know, at the Emirates, they've got the stairs to you walk up to as the away end. I remember walking up the stairs, looking at the team for that game, seeing Ryan Mason in the starting lineup, and I remember an Arsenal fan that I walked past that I sort of knew through people, and he recognised me and said hello, and we were talking, and he went, "Have you seen Ryan Mason starting?" And he started laughing. saying we're going to batter you. Ryan Mason got man of the match.
I mean, Mason always put in a shift, always.
He was
100%.
He was brilliant that day, and he went on to play a big role in Poch's early days. And I think he was a good player for us.
In terms of Bentley against Mason, who do you think was the better player?
Ryan Mason.
You think so?
I think about the same, but for different reasons.
Are you talking about individual talent? And Nabil Bentaleb. If you say who's the best player, which includes attitude, work ethic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was my argument for Michael Dawson the other week.
Yeah, so I would
technical
say
ability, Bentaleb, but attitude and application, Mason.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you're as a fan of a football club, you'd rather have players that care, that aren't as good as players that. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I'd rather have someone that cares and hasn't got all the ability, but will always put in 100% and try, than someone that's got all the ability but doesn't give a shit.
All right, so we're putting him in decent. Luka Modric, elite.
Next one, see you later.
He won the Ballon d'Or, he's won the Champions League. He's one of the greatest midfielders.
He looks like Gail Platt from Coronation.
He looks like you right now.
Yeah, I know. Lockdown hair, by the way.
So yeah, elite. Next.
Yeah, Scott Parker. I'm just going to say quality.
Yeah, no, I think quality actually. Yeah, I do.
we nicked him off West Ham. He was their captain, so even better.
I thought he was absolutely brilliant for us. Unsung hero.
A rich man's Harry Wink. Harry Wink.
he mastered the pirouette before anyone mastered it. All right, quality for Parker. Dele Alli.
He's still playing. I think it's difficult to put players that are currently at the club and who are also still very young. Dele's 24? Into a category. Dele's quality. We all know Dele's quality.
He's still quality for me.
He's not elite just yet, but he's got time to go.
He was elite in that one season, though, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was.
The whole team was elite.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Quality.
Let's say quality.
Yeah. Christian Erickson.
Yeah, I mean,
tough. Forget the way. Hang on.
I guess we're going to have to say elite because Van der Vaart's in elite.
Forget the way that he left and forget.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take out that. I'm going to take that away and just go on.
Remember, he spent 5-6 years with us.
I think you could say lower end of elite.
No. Bang elite. He is. Of course, he's elite.
Yeah,
his stats say it all.
How many times he saved us with those last-minute worldies?
Not just that. How many times he saved us?
Who would you rather have? Look the same a top-firing Van der Vaart or a top-firing Erickson?
Erickson.
Because he makes things tick.
Erickson.
He kept us moving.
But that was the team we were in as well. Remember?
No, look, there were times.
And there was a stat.
No, come on. There were times under Pochettino when Erickson didn't play. We couldn't attack.
Yeah,
we couldn't tick.
Erickson was the
he
hub
ran
of
the
most.
team.
He
but that was
covered the most distance.
But your argument was because the team was doing well. You know, we talked about Dele Alli. He said, yeah, but that's because the whole team was doing well.
Yeah, but Erickson made that team tick.
Yeah.
And when the team wasn't performing well, Erickson went.
Erickson was the glue in that team.
Erickson was the glue in that team. Oh, that's what I think anyway. And for me, he kept things
moving. Always someone we didn't have that for a very long time. Someone to get on the ball and make it and drill that pass in behind and create or put the ball.
Go on then. Let's put lower end of elite. I'm happy with that. Doesn't matter where. Though,
middle end of elite.
He wants middle end. He's going to go top end.
All right, Etienne Capoue.
Poor, really poor. I know he's all right now.
He's gone on to do better at Watford.
Poor,
but
yeah.
For us, he was poor, wasn't he?
He was like a poor man's Tom Huddleston.
I don't think he was
couldn't move. It was like we'd signed the French Tom Huddleston.
Yeah.
Poor.
Yeah.
Really
was
poor.
he one of the fantastic seven?
Yeah, and I remember we got battered. Remember the year that year we got battered at every top 4 team away from home, and he played in all of it. He was so poor.
Yeah, agreed. Poor. Victor Wanyama.
Decent.
Quality. That one season, he only had
that one season. Yeah, but I think because that was because the team was solid as well.
But I also think he had his injury problems. Every time he did come in, he actually did all right.
I put him in.
That City game where we got through in the Champions League, he hadn't played in months.
I put Wanyama lower end of quality.
Yeah, and he played well.
Why not?
He just didn't have a good range of passing. He could never break the lines of any types of passing. He was just a big
that was his job.
Yeah, but in the modern game, you need a player who can actually pass in that position now because of the high press that the teams play. Just that old kind of like Paul Ince enforcer type, industrial style, like CDM. You need someone who's a bit more of a baller these days, and Wanyama couldn't do that.
But when he was at the top of his game, he was the best CDM in the league. I thought him and Kante, and I think for that year, last season at White Hart Lane, he was elite. Never won quality.
I agree. He was quality,
and I think
I never liked him even at his best. I could see flaws in him.
You just don't like those defensive players.
No, I do, but I like the ones that I like Dembele and I like Ndombele's passing, and I like players that can,
that's what we need. We need somebody like Wanyama now.
Yeah,
do you know what a register is?
Yes.
Yeah, you need that kind of player in that position in the modern game. Like the old school enforcer type doesn't actually work anymore. Yeah, I actually think we should play Lo Celso just in front of the back four because he can turn defence into attack.
He's not somebody that's going to...
He can turn defence into attack, whereas the problem is when you have a player that's not a baller, what happens is they end up going sideways.
But then if you play Lo Celso
it gets
in
you in
that
trouble.
position,
It gets you in trouble.
If you play Lo Celso in that position, then you're restricting his attack. And don't say you're restricting his attack.
You need a player that can it's like alchemy. You turn defence into attack very quickly by just a turn of the shoulder and go and
all he had to do was get the ball in the middle of the park,
pass
which he would do
exactly. Pass it to Erickson, and they did the rest.
But Dembele would travel.
But on paper, everyone says that. But in reality, when you actually watched it, Wanyama would have the ball, and the rest of the team would be beyond the halfway line. So he's actually he's in the quarterback position. Think about a quarterback. They're in that position. They're the best player, the quarterback, right? Often Wanyama would have the ball as a quarterback, and he had no passing on him, and everyone else was like 20 yards ahead of him. And so he
Dembele
was
never 20 yards ahead of him.
There was times where
I have to say
there was times when
disagree.
Wanyama was on the ball and he lacked the passing range to be able to break the lines.
Also, in terms of what you're saying now about the regista role, and that could be right, but that's now.
Yeah,
Wanyama doesn't play for us right now. We're talking how many years ago did it? 3 years ago that season, 16, 17. We're now in 20.
Because you've got to think back then we were camped out in the opposition's half, which meant that it was only like a certain amount of players left to bring the ball out, right?
At the time, I think he was quality because that's the football we played and that was part of the style.
Limited.
I agree with Slav, lower end of quality. Let's move on to Moussa Dembele.
Elite.
I mean, there's a case for quality and there's a case for elite.
There's a case for lower end of elite then.
Yeah.
If he had goals, if he had a lot of goals to his game, would you say elite?
Yeah.
Is it the lack of goals that make you think
final product? I mean, he just ended up ghosting through past a few players and laying it off sideways.
Yeah.
No, I felt that he should have done a lot more with the quality that he had.
He is amazing though.
Yeah, the guy was absolutely insane.
We all know every Spurs player said that he was the best at the club.
Yeah, exactly.
Above Kane, Son, the rest of them.
Did you guys see Trippier's podcast yesterday?
Yeah.
And he was
doesn't
going.
like us, does it?
Was he saying? What was he? Yeah, he was.
He was basically saying that he was shocked that Dembele left in that January, and
he said that we would have won the Champions League if Dembele stayed, and I disagree.
I mean,
he was out for 4 months before he got it.
Yeah, I know. But what if he comes back and he only plays in that Champions League final?
But that's not gonna. If my uncle,
but that's
if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Yeah,
so.
But it was very realistic.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think we were. I think we were destined to lose.
I'd be happy to put him in elite.
Unfortunately, I just think it was Liverpool's year.
All right, let's put Dembele into elite. We can all agree on that.
Do you reckon it would have been Dembele's arm for the penalty?
Dembele would never have let that happen. Let's move on to Harry Winks.
Decent.
John.
Decent.
Yeah, he's decent. He's not amazing. He's not. He's all right. I think it might be not yet, but there will be a time, sort of in the Ryan Mason situation, where he might have to look at moving on.
In that
for
podcast,
now he's all right.
In that Trippier podcast, he called Winks a baller.
No, Trippier called Winks a baller. He is a baller. He is good at football. He's not like a terrible footballer. He's a great footballer.
When I watch him play, it's a little bit like playing sensible soccer. Do you remember that game? Or playing like a football arcade game. He runs in like perpendicular lines.
It's sort of like the same as Dembele. There's no fight. As a central midfielder, you have to have the ability to pass the ball as well as defend and attack. There's no point in just being able to pass a football and break up play.
I felt that he's come on a bit since Mourinho has come.
I agree. I think he looks good, and I just think he needs to add. He scored 2 goals in his Tottenham career. 2. I mean, they were terrible. I mean, there was one
2
was
more than Didier Zecora.
Technically, I've scored the same amount of goals as Didier Zecora.
Let's say decent.
All right, decent for Harry Winks. Giovanni Lo Celso.
Elite.
For me, elite.
I've
been saying that the whole time, haven't I?
He's so good.
He's a brilliant footballer, and I know it's too early to say, but like, if you're a scout watching him, you know he's going on for big things.
He's amazing.
I think Giovanni Lo Celso is going to be an absolute superstar in the Premier League, but I think it's just a bit too early to put him into elite.
Okay, we'll put him into super elite instead.
Slav, should we overrule him? We're overruling you, Ben.
Look, I think he will be in elite. I just don't think
he's amazing. He actually is far too good at football. He needs to find something else to do.
How many good games has he had for us?
400.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Every game. He's ever
Every
played.
game.
He's brilliant.
Every
Jermaine
game.
Genius has probably had more good games for us than Giovanni Lo Celso.
No, Gio is amazing.
Gio. You've been overruled, buddy.
And last but
If
not,
I could have a team of Gio Lo Celsos, I would.
and last but not least, Musa Sissoko.
Quality. He's come a long,
Yeah,
long
quality.
way.
I think quality. Yeah.
It's not easy to get the stick he got at the beginning.
Yeah.
Albeit
He's turned it
albeit
around.
warranted.
He's
It's
turned it
so
around.
hard to turn that round, and you've got
And
to
he-
give him credit for that. And I think
agree.
Someone made a good comment. They said watching him play at the start. They said it's like watching a dog chase a beach ball, and that was the case, wasn't it? He just had no technical ability
yeah.
whatsoever. Just to give him
Now-
the ball.
now-
he was looking world class last year.
yeah, and
he
even,
looked
even when
world-class
even
at times.
he got that injury in January and had the knee surgery, and he's come back and looked
Yeah,
just as
I
good.
think quality.
And that game against West Ham, there's that clip Spurs put up where he just that little cut and he's got tricks now.
Last week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought he was great.
He was dreadful when we first got him, and then he became elite.
Another
and now
player-
now I'd say averaging it out,
Yeah.
and what he is now, I'd say quality.
Another player that is that we all love because he plays for the shirt, loves the passion that he brings. He wants to try his
We've
best,
warmed
no
to
matter
him.
what. He tries his best.
Yeah.
And that's what we can appreciate.
He proper plays with his heart on his sleeve,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we all love Sissoko. I think I'm sure he can forgive us as a fan base
We love
of,
you,
of what we
Yeah.
did to him like the first year he was at Spurs.
That's
But,
it,
We'll go
yeah.
quality.
but you know, yeah, I'll say
Yeah.
quality. But he
There's,
completely turned his Spurs career around, and we
Yeah, he
commend
did.
him for it, 100%.
There's one player that I didn't write down. I forgot. Just the last one. Tongi Ndombele.
Well, it's too early.
It's too early to say.
Too early
The
to
jury's
say.
the Gordon
Lo
jury's out.
Celso,
I think-
you put Lo Celso into a category, so I think
I mean,
you
you two put Lo Celso into elite. I think it was a bit unfair to put him into elite.
That's not. If anything, it's
Ndombele's
if anything, it's elite on Gio.
Ndombele's a dreadful elite. That's what I'm going
I
to call
think
him.
Ndombele is dreadful, poor, decent quality, and elite
There we go.
all into
There
one.
we go.
There, Tongi and Ndombele. But anyway, yeah, there you have it. That is the tier list of our last 20 central midfielders to play for Tottenham. Thank you, Slav, for putting that together.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you
for coming,
for
and
coming
joining
along.
us.
We'd like
Coming
to,
along for
tagging
the
along.
ride.
we'd like if in the comments if you could please tell us who you think John looks like today. We've gone Gareth Bale, Luka Modric, there's Roberto Firmino, even Ronaldo.
Yeah, okay. As long as it's not Bobby Charlton.
CR7.
But not Aaron Ramsey, an old school Aaron Ramsey, yeah?
No, that'd be good. Thank you. Yeah.
Anyway, let me know what you think of this tier list. If we've got anything wrong, let me know who you would put in each tier list. Like, subscribe, and comment below.
And if there's any centre midfielders I forgot, again, let us know. I'm
exactly,
pretty sure.
berate him in the comments below if there's anything you forgot. And as always,
Come on, you
Come on,
Spurs.
Spurs.